Hello my friends, welcome to another Droop Royale video. Today, King God Castle, and we will be talking about Jupiter and the Super Zupi build. We will be flashing some electroids all over the field. We will be using Jupiter as a hyper carry, so let's see what this build is all about. Okay, the build. Let's start with the altars. First of all, 15 blood for the defensive purposes, but most importantly the life leech, and 10 in heroes to build my board quicker. For the relics, I'm using the crown for the gold, and I'm using the trident for the extra damage, basically. I'm really not too sure about the relics just yet. These are working, so you know, I'm still trying to figure those out, what works best. Then Asia Q, he's just there as a filler for CC purposes, the stun, but you know, just a filler. I often use Mel on that position, and I put my items I don't use, like especially the swords and the chest pieces, I put them on Mel because Mel is pretty good. Then Jupiter, our hyper carry, our damage dealer, you want to build him out to the max with bows and staves, so attack speed and magic damage. Then Bardry, I like to speed. I'm just using her to speed things up with Jupiter. Cooldowns go down, and Jupiter will be spamming her skill. Behemoth and Leonhard are my two tanks. I just put them as a meat shield, basically. And Aramis is kind of important. I try and put him in the back. In the early game, I use him for those, I think they're called raids, I'm not sure, the ones that spawn in your back. I just use him kind of as the meat shield for one, but more towards the end of the game, especially that last boss with his fears and his big shockwave. You know, when I have bad RNG, sometimes my Jupiter dies, or if I don't get the perfect gear, it's nice to have Aramis in the back finishing him off. And that's the basis for this build. Now, why do I call this my relic farmer? Well, I use this one to farm chapter 7, the raid invasion. You know, the annoying chapter with the fears and the raids that spawn in the back. So yeah, that's basically it. Why do I farm this chapter? Because you can get the swords here and the insignia. So I kind of want to farm them up. Like I said, I'm not really too sure about the relics just yet, but those two have been pretty good for me. The swords you can use for the Aramis gang tactic. We will be going over that in a later video. And also the insignia you can use for the solo Joel build. Also a pretty good build out there. Again, we'll go over those builds, the specific tactics later. I just, you know, we're kind of in the early game. People watching my videos probably are newer to this game, so I wanted to show some early stuff first before we go to end game tactics. So that's what I've been farming, and I'm guessing if I want to have like a perfect relic, I'm gonna need a lot of them, unless I want to spend a lot of money, which I don't. So that's what I farm. I farm gold, I farm XP, not that I need it right now, but I like farming this level for the relics. What stuff do you need to get? It kind of depends. I don't like to say you need to go this route or that route. It kind of depends how your game and your RNG is going, but I like to get, you know, my Jupiter as high level as possible. That's something I'm still struggling with. So, but for farming this, you know, like 1 gold star, 2 gold stars, that's kind of good, you know. And mine, I was lucky enough to get her 1 golden star pretty early in the game, so that's pretty good. But more importantly, you can get the books, you can get the scrolls to get your team up there pretty quick. That's one way of going. And I try to make sure that I get bows and staves, because if you can deck her out with the right items, she's gonna become a beast, and that lifesteal will keep you alive, and she will be doing tons of damage super fast. You will see this a little bit later when my items start building up, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, deck out your Jupiter as good as possible with the right items. Then for placement, it's not really that important. You know, the maps are kind of RNG, so it kind of depends on the map. Like I'm putting everything on the right now, kind of defending my Jupiter a little bit, putting a tank in the back for when that raid spawns. It's all a little bit of RNG, but you know, switch around, see what works best. I also like, I don't do it in this video because I keep experimenting to learn new things, but spreading them out over the field is also an option. So, but yeah, try and be careful for those black things spawning in the back because they do a lot of AoE damage, so that's kind of something to pay attention to. But other than that, some meat shields, and you can see I just put Aramis to the left all by himself, kind of using him as a meat shield, while my other characters can yeah, rip them apart. As you can see, my AoE from Jupiter is, you know, it's being pretty insane. Now, a little tiny trick you can use, you kind of have to decide for yourself whether you're free to play, you might not want to do it, or if you farmed some gems or you want to spend some, it doesn't matter. But when you start a chapter, you can add like a little bit of bonus food, so you get better rewards, more XP, all that good stuff. I did use that to get my relics faster, to get them up there, so you can do that, keep that in mind. It's a pretty good trick, but it takes your food away pretty quickly, so keep that in mind. As I mentioned earlier, now I'm using Asia Q, but most of the time I use Mel there, because Mel is like insanely strong, and you can put like your chest pieces and your swords on Mel, and she will do tons of damage and provide also a little bit of stun. The only kind of annoying thing here with Mel is that she's not a ranged attack, so when the raids start fearing, and especially that last boss with his fears and shockwave, it's kind of annoying, so that's why I kind of switch over to Asia Q a little bit more now. But keep in mind, Mel works here as well, but the RNG can kind of mess you up sometimes. Okay, so this is basically everything about the Super Zupi build. Check it out, try it out if you have the heroes for it. It's pretty good, but like I said, you can swap around. I would say having the tanks, which ones, it's up to you, but especially Jupiter and Bardry I think are key here, and depending on how strong you are, you might need Aramis, but Aramis is a starter, that doesn't really matter. Anyway, pretty solid build. I've played like many games with it, so I'm 100% sure it works, and you know, if you want to try something new, go ahead and check it out. I'm going to speed up the video so you guys can keep watching till the end, but enjoy the music. I'm gonna stop talking now, and I will see you guys on the battlefield.
Every time you leave me to my fate. You're the one I'll stay for, though I wanna go. Find somebody better for my soul. Better for my soul, yeah, better for my soul. Find somebody better for my soul. You're the one I'll stay for, though I wanna go. Find somebody better for my soul.
We find down with the Merlot. You know I'm on the line with the sun low. You already know the vibes when I pull up on you. Been looking at the sign like a horoscope. You say you wanna leave, but I know you don't. Talking about you wanna freeze what we got going on, but I'm seeing through the screen what's really going on. I know how you feel, I just need you to wait on me. I wanna do less of this latency. I wanna do less of that wait and see. When I get back to the city, I hate to leave. I know it's step in away from me till I put it down for like synergy. So